Just a quick message this morning about certain things that are, I don't know, being said and exposed out there. People are telling me to calm down, that I'm acting too vengeful or too prideful or too excited on people's downfalls. And it's not even like that. Yes, I've been waiting for a long time for some kind of justice and something to be made clear and for the truth to come out. At the same time, it's been a process itself. It's not anything that's been easy. It's something that just happened overnight. Nobody's ever had anything happen overnight, and it probably could still take time. It probably isn't quite there yet to be over. I'm hoping for it to be over soon because then the process of healing shall kick in. Even though I am healing now, but there is some things that are still touchy subjects. Like I said, we all need healing. I'm not here sitting up here judging people. In my last video, I said something about cursing. I meant cussing. I'm out here cussing people out because I get so angry at certain things that people say, and I start cussing, not cursing, just cussing at people and calling upon justice with God. But then when the justice comes, and these people are suffering and shit, as a human being, I can't help but feel bad too at the same time. That's just part of nature, and it's part of maybe being a healer, that you just are an empath, that you feel for people. You can't. Sometimes I come off as this bold bitch and this mean, cold-hearted person, but in reality, it's quite the opposite. It's like I don't like to be taken advantage of, just like anybody else does, and people want justice for things that have been done to them, but at the same time, seeing people hurt or seeing people go through rough times also hurts me too. Even though I may not express it or say it, it does bother me that unfortunately it's part of life, and it's part of the consequences of things that we do. That we pay the price. Sometimes it's rehab. Sometimes it's just time alone with God. Sometimes it's counseling family members, talking to family members. It's a lot of things, that people go through. It's not easy. I've had a few counseling sessions with somebody because I needed it. And probably after this is done and over with, and once I find out more information about exactly what completely went on behind the scenes without me knowing, all this, what's all led up to this point, I'm sure I'm going to need some counseling. I'm going to need some alone time. I'm going to need some time to reflect on the betrayals and people involved and what was said and done. Maybe sometimes it's best not to know all the details, because I don't know. Is it better not to know all the details? Or is it better just to know the truth and just fucking heal from it from once and for all, instead of wondering about it and keeping it in the back of your mind, wondering all was said and done, like what was plotted and planned. Everybody's different. Everybody's process of healing is different. Is there things that are going to hurt me so bad that it's going to set me back for a little bit, because it's going to be devastating or something to my mind or to my health or to my spirit, to my soul. These are things that to reflect on. How much information do you really want to know? Do you really want to go to court and see all these people? Do you really want to go to court and hear all these things? There's things, being an empath and being so sensitive sometimes, maybe it's best not to be in the court, or maybe it's not best to know everything. But in reality, sometimes, we need to hear everything to know exactly how bad we were betrayed, so that we don't trust or give second chances to some of these people, Yes, forgiveness has always got to be there. Don't get me wrong, but I just wish healing for everybody. And I'm going to have to heal myself because I already know. I have been doing a little bit of healing. I do cry to myself, but it's hard to cry to yourself. It's hard to, to pray and do things when you're monitored all the time, and you can't let go and can't release how you really want to release because you're being monitored. People are watching you. People are listening to you. People are fucking using you as the joke of the night, the party, TV show, reality show that they're watching while they're getting high. Things like that. They're not letting me heal right. People don't realize that you're affecting my time alone. Even though I try to live as close as I possibly can to who I am in my home, thinking that I have somewhat privacy, but in reality, I know I don't have any privacy. So therefore, it's hard for me to really heal the way I need to heal because people are interfering in that shit. People are in my home. I mean, as far as like monitoring, listening, microphones, cameras, people are listening, watching, hearing me. I can't heal. I can't scream or cry out the way I need to. I'm gonna have to walk up to the mountain. I'm gonna have to walk up to a mountain and fucking just fucking let it all fucking, let it all out. Because I can't do it in my home. I can't do it in an apartment complex. It ain't fair to the rest of the people that live here. So another thing too, I recently heard that people think that I might have autism. I've never heard of that. I mean, I've heard of autism and I've known people have had it. I just never thought that people would think that of me. People think because I don't socialize and this and that, there's signs of autism, but I was abused as a young child, and growing up, I had a lot of anxiety of being around people and people older than me because the parents that were older than me, my parents, we weren't allowed to speak when we weren't allowed to speak out until we were like much older. Then I finally started using my voice to speak out to my parents and tell them exactly what I thought and how the abuse of the child that I experienced. I told them as I got older. As a kid, you can't see shit. I took the whippings, I took the fucking verbal and mental abuse, the physical abuse, until I grew up. Now, maybe I knew I had ADHD. Maybe I had some depression. I know I have anxiety from all that shit, But as far as autism, I've always been a very sociable person. I'm very sociable. Just that right now, after this toxic relationship, I decided to heal. I decided to be alone, not to be with another man, not to fucking worry about relationships. I decided to worry about myself and to heal. I put myself in the hermit mode. Maybe God put me in the hermit mode. I don't know. The point is that I got there. That's all that matters, is that I got there and I did it. And I healed, and I'm still healing. There's a lot I still need to heal because more wounds are coming up. As I hear more stories about what the hell's going on around me and everybody else, that are involved on social media, it hurts me. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that things like this don't hurt me and that I don't feel anything, because I do. I still feel pain. I'm still, I'm not that cold-hearted and I'm not that fucking mean. I do care about things and people, but I also have to put a line, between being too much of an empath and too nice and too forgiving to let things slide. I've done a lot of things in the past where people took advantage of it, and I just can't go there again. And maybe it comes off as being cold-hearted, but I really don't care because it's a part of me that needs to be there. Because at one time I had no boundaries; people could step all over me, and so now I have to set boundaries. And so I may come off as cold and bitter and bitchy, but it is what it is. I'm not here to please anybody. I'm here to please myself. And to please what God wants me to do, and then my mission. I'm not a spoiled brat. Everything I've had, I didn't grow up with money. Still don't have money, and it doesn't matter. People think I'm materialistic. When I showed you my chair, my furniture, it's a humble way that I live. I'm not trying to be exaggerated or extravagant or trying to throw anything in anybody's face. I finally got a fucking apartment. I was homeless. I finally got a damn apartment. Excuse me if I'm happy about it. Excuse me if I got like one piece of furniture in my house, in my apartment, and I have a bed. I'm like proud of the little things that I have. It wasn't boasting and throwing it in people's faces. Just like, I'm not on the street no more. I'm not sleeping in a tent. I'm not sleeping in a homeless shelter. Something to be proud of, It wasn't to throw anything up at somebody's face. It's not like that. I'm not like that. I give you whatever I can give you. I help you as much as I can help you. I'm not that type of person. So it hurts me when people think that I'm boasting and that I'm prideful and blah, 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 blah. Maybe part of the little child in me gets excited when things happen. And maybe it comes out wrong. The child in me comes out when I feel like justice is finally going to happen. I'm like, yeah. Maybe I boast, or people think I'm boasting by throwing videos out there, music videos. Maybe I get a little too excited. Maybe I should filter it. Maybe I should think about it. Maybe I should do a lot of motherfucking things. But I don't. But does that make me autistic? I don't think so. I'm far from being autistic. I'm going to tell you that. And another thing, nobody's really handed me shit. Everything I've got in this world has been worked. I worked for it. Except for when I was married. When I was married, well, I was a housewife. I was taking care of my children, plus my father was sick with diabetes and had heart issues. So he needed care. He was almost 80 years old. Somebody needed to be in the home taking care of him. I was fortunate enough to take care of him and a daughter who was sick in and out of the hospital with asthma. So I've never had it easy. I've always put other people before myself, and I'm not trying to fucking throw this in anybody's face. I wanted to. I love to help people, and somebody's sick, I'm going to be there for them. If somebody's got a mental problem, I'm going to be there. If somebody's got a physical problem, I was a CNA. I help people. I don't discourage, and I don't turn my back when people need something from me, especially if they're friends, and especially when they were my family. You know what I'm saying? I was there for them. The point what I'm trying to tell you is that nothing's been easy on this road for me. And I'm not trying to be a victim. I'm not a fucking victim. I'm not in survival mode anymore because I clearly finally have a place to live. So I'm no longer in survival mode. The point that I'm trying to tell you is that people misjudge people without even knowing me. You know, people constantly make assumptions and conclusions of a person because they see them on social media, and you right away think, oh, I know that bitch, or I know what she's like, or you listen to an ex of the person's, or you listen to these family members that hated this person without even giving them the benefit of the doubt, even knowing who the hell they are, without even investigating shit about this person, getting to know this person, you know? That's my case. That's what basically has led up to this point when it came to social media, why people became on this frenzy of hating me and not wanting to accept me and pointing out my faults or trying to point everything they could about me in a negative way, make me out to look like a bad person, which I forgive, man. I'm not worried about that no more. It did hurt my feelings. To sit here and tell you that you all didn't hurt my feelings is a lie. I mean, I didn't know where it was coming from, how it was coming from, and I realized they were illusions, they were spell work, it was witchcraft, it was a lot of things, and it was a group of people, cliques. Maybe everybody hated me. Maybe everybody does still hate me on YouTube, but I really don't care because I'm really not here for them. I'm here to put the story out, and whether they like it or not, it's going to be put out. Even though they try to block it and try to shadow ban me or whatever the fuck they try to do, I really don't care. It'll be still, one day somebody will see it, you know? There's always hope. I don't lose hope on shit. And maybe that's what my thrive is thriving for greatness. I love that song. Even though I only get a brief of it from Bedell. This one, interesting, very intelligent man. It has his YouTube video. I'm throwing a shout out to him. Is that I like that song that he has in his intro. And it's striving for greatness. And it says something about I woke up out of the Matrix. And so I don't know who sings the song, but I just like it, and I'm just giving him a shout out. And to know, because he's always giving good advice about shit too. His videos are good. I recommend you guys watch him. Very smart person, and can be a bit of a hermit too, like myself. But anyways, my point to tell you is that people misjudge people all the time and think that you got it made and that you've always been gifted, you've always had this, and you always had that. I'm gonna tell you the secret. I didn't start experiencing my gifts till I was older, till my late 20s, early 30s. So I've barely been experiencing my gifts these last 20 years. Even though I knew I had things and knew I could do things but I didn't know they were gifts. I didn't know what the hell they were. I didn't experience this shit till basically really experienced things in the last 5 years, but basically was open up to it since like maybe 2012 or 2011, around there. But everything started opening up for me. I started realizing that there was more power behind the words. There was more things happening around me that when people try to wish bad upon me, things would happen to them. People that did me wrong, things would happen. Karma was coming for people, all the time around me, but I didn't know what it was karma. Even though I studied a lot of things, I didn't know that was karma, and I didn't know that was just a lot of things. I mean, I felt like a newborn or a baby, just learning, taking her steps, learning things in life, still learning things in life, still a child in ways of spiritually. I'm still like a baby, I feel like, in my heart. It's hard to explain in a grown-ass body, but in ways I'm a little kid. In a lot of ways I'm a little kid, but yet in an adult body, being an adult, being responsible, and trying to be mature half the time. My kids used to tell me that don't embarrass us, Mom, when we go into the restaurants because you tend to embarrass us and blah, 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 blah. But I didn't understand why. They thought it was a Latin thing. They go, the Latin people are so loud. Latin people are this, because my kids are mixed, Caucasian and Latino. And so my kids would be like, don't act like the Latin side of the family, Ma. You know, little things like that. But I miss those laughs and those conversations that my kids used to say about walking into a restaurant with me, you know, when they take me out for Mother's Day. Sorry, I didn't mean to go there. Anyways, those were good times. Memories. Back to telling you about healing. I tell you, healing is a process, a never-ending process. Sometimes, sometimes conversations that come up and memories come up, and you heal because you feel the pain, and it causes you to heal. That's me. I'm a crybaby. I cry a lot. I deal with shit. I heal, and I move on, and I keep going. That's the process of healing. People take it wrong. People think like, oh, she's so pathetic. Think what you want, but that's my gifts. Those are my gifts. The crying, the empath, the healer, the healing, the feeling is part of my gift. It's part of healing the world. It's part of healing people. It's real. It's authentic. It's not fake. People don't understand that, you know, that I do feel a lot of things, but it's the process. It's about going through the process. People need to understand that. Don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to scream. Don't be afraid to curse somebody out. Don't be afraid to express your emotions, because that's what keeps you from healing, is from not expressing yourselves, not saying no to somebody when you really fucking want to say no, or when you really want to help somebody but you don't want to because you care so much what other people think. If you're around this person, you worry about your reputation. You worry about what people are going to say because you reached out to help a friend or help somebody in need. You're so worried and you're so caught up with the material and the superficial world that you neglect to help people. You neglect to do things that you normally, in your heart, as a child, as a spirit, as part of God within yourself and part of this universe of God, of all of us, of human beings, is to help one another. So don't ever let anybody hold you back, or people or groups or schools or secret societies or anything hold you back on who you truly want to be and who you want to truly help in the world. Don't let that stop you, because you're going to regret it. You'll regret it in the future, and you're going to kick yourself so hard for that. And realize, because God will always bring that back to you. It's a part of karma too, because it's like the song that Phil Collins sings, In the Air Tonight. Though you saw me drowning and you would not lend a hand, I see your face and I know who you are, or something like that. And you were there, you watched me drown and did not do a thing. To me, that's worse than doing the crime, is watching it. So with that message, I hope you guys got something from this message. I'm going to leave it there because I got to go to work. This is Divine Feminine Lorraine coming at you, and I hope you have a great day. Shalom. Peace be with you guys.